Okay, looks like we've begun. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Halloween version of Maximum Apocalypse, the RPG. I am your host, Scott Jules. This is my game. We're going to be playing it out today, and we're going to be trying out some cool, fun stuff. I am joined here with my players. I'll have them introduce themselves and talk about themselves. We'll start down here on my screen, right below me, playing Pastor Adam.
That's gonna look cool on the thing. All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm Joe from the 1 Foot Wall tiny YouTube channel. Today I'm playing again. You may have seen him before, Pastor Adam Kane, brothers and sisters. He's a priest that survived the rapture. Now, a side note: if you stop and think about surviving the actual rapture, supposedly all the good, pure souls had already been lifted up, so everybody that's left behind was kind of garbage. Pastor Adam. He is devout. No worries about that. He just he has a difference of opinion on turning the other cheek. So that's me.
Okay, then we'll go over here to player of Aaron.
Hey everybody, my name's Jose, and today I'm playing Aaron Hayes, who's a little scruffy thief, a scavenger, pretty much just did whatever he had to do to survive.
Very cool. And over here playing Jack.
Hi, I'm Dave the Bard, and I'm playing Jack London. And I am a sort of storyteller GM of World of Darkness. I do a bit of streaming on YouTube now and again on the Wednesday nights. And I'm playing Jack London, the mighty hunter, who's a 14-year-old who had his parents died in the apocalypse, and he's now a little kid surviving in this horrible, horrific world with his mighty bow of steel.
Very nice.
That's me.
Nice. And then over to the player of Maggie.
Hi, my name is Susan Benville, and I am, among other things, a comic book writer. I currently am writing a webcomic called Nyx, which you can find on Webtoons. And I am playing Maggie Barnes, who is somebody who grew up in the wilderness of Canada, ultimately decided to go to medical school, and was in medical school when the zombies took over. So she's kind of a loner. She has a pretty nasty scar across her mouth right here, which makes her smile not so much look smiley. It's kind of a snarly look.
Nice. Okay, and over to Rufus.
Hi, Daniel Enoch. Either one, I respond to either. I don't have anything really I want to plug. I did start a Facebook group trying to get together a bunch of Seattle folks, just a community-based. So search Seattle area RPG if you want and join up. It's for people to find local in-person games, even though I do like online games as well. It's opened up a whole new world for us here. Rufus lost his he was a bad man. He was a bad man. And his wife got the demon out of him, but he lost his wife and his 2 children in the apocalypse. And so there is nothing as dangerous as a man with nothing left. I'm hoping to channel a little bit of Clint Eastwood from Unforgiven. So, a little story as a vignette. There's this one scene there where one character says, I don't deserve this. And Clint's character says, deserve ain't got nothing to do with it. So if you can think about one line to encapsulate Rufus, deserve ain't got nothing to do with it.
Very nice. So the game takes place, this adventure will take place after the apocalypse has happened. All of you have survived an apocalypse, as you may well note on your character, whether it be zombies, giant monster things, or other stuff. Like the Rapture, apparently, survived it. So you've survived something, and that something has affected who you are and what you can do and what you know. But generally speaking, you know that there are all kinds of stuff that roams about the planet, and you, unfortunately, as a human being, are completely outnumbered by those various different things. So you have joined together in your ragtag bunch of people to survive this apocalypse. And your whole goal in surviving is to find food, shelter, and component pieces to rebuild the things that you have and maintain the stuff that you've got. So you scavenge and you hunt, and that's most of what your day consists of. Or you wander aimlessly through the wasteland, wondering what you're going to come across. Maybe a big dark tower in the middle of a desert. I don't know. That's up to you. And how you decide to play Maximum Apocalypse. This particular adventure is a Halloween scenario that I put together based on the up-and-coming, in the board game, because this is all based on a board game, the up-and-coming expansion called Clownpocalypse. So I'm giving you a heads up that there are clowns in this adventure. Anyone at home who's watching this may want to look away if you fear clowns. I'm going to try to do my best to make some scary clown laughter. It's just going to be me, no sound effects. It's just going to be me trying to sound like a creepy clown.
Why are people so mean to clowns? They did nothing wrong.
Interestingly, you can't see what I can see. I have the picture from the game of one of the clowns, and if you could see this clown, you'd be like, "Oh, you know what? That's a bad clown. I think that's a scary clown. I'll stay away from that clown."
That's so stereotyping, so bad.
You know what? People voted for it, so there it is, the Clownpocalypse. Okay. So after several days, after traveling for almost an entire day on the long and dusty gravel road, so you guys are wandering. I'm just going to throw it out there. You don't have a base location. You're wandering. Hope it didn't railroad too much. Hope nobody has a problem with that. But you're wandering through the wasteland, and after traveling for almost an entire day on the long and dusty gravel road that used to be some kind of freeway or highway system, you round a large hill and find that there's a valley below. And in that valley is the steel skeleton of a large Ferris wheel. And the humped, sorry, I'm trying to read what I wrote. The humped wooded ridges of a dilapidated coaster ride. Several other structures of various qualities are clustered between them, forming something of a small town housed within some kind of fenced gate area. One entrance to this complex is on the west, near where the road that you're on passes, and above which is a sign that you can read from your distance that says Venturewood. There are letters missing, and you're unable to make out what these faded letters are in the make out these letters in the waning sunlight. So, what do you guys think? I'm opening it to you now.
Can we go on the roller coaster? You know, I always wanted to go on the roller coaster.
Pretty sure it's not running.
Yeah, I don't know how well it'll be working there.
So go for it.
You know, they always had those height restrictions, and like I always wanted to go on the roller coasters that, you know, that had that height restriction, and you know, and sneak onto it and just like go up on it and go wee.
Well,
This will end in tears, like everything else in life.
as long as we can find a plate of food there, or maybe some supplies to keep us moving along down the road, I think the Lord will shine right down nice and fine on us.
You know, it's
I say
probably
it's worth a look.
it's probably been picked over pretty good, but why not? At least it looks like there's a couple of shelters down there we might be able to sleep in, or I don't know, some scrap metal or some scrap parts to patch up some of these. Maybe add a little armor to this jacket of mine.
Well, who knows? They might even have an old cotton candy machine here. That might be some good grubbins.
I doubt you want to eat that at this point.
No, really, go for it. Cavities.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys have already sort of hit on all of the topics. There is the possibility of prepackaged food there. You just get that feeling based on that it's some sort of amusement park. So there's some stuff. So how do you guys want to approach? There's a parking lot on that road between you and the gate, and it looks clear. Just some drifting sand and some baffles that stop any vehicles from going actually into the park. But otherwise, it looks completely empty.
So
Any
there's
chance
no.
we can scan it with some binoculars or something before we head all the way in? Not
Yeah,
that I have
absolutely.
any.
If anyone has any binoculars, you can certainly pull them out and sort of check around and see what you see.
I think I gave myself binoculars.
I rely on the vision that the good Lord himself has given me.
That perfect vision.
All right. So,
All
right.
Plug for Joe's game.
It's good.
Yes. Ruth.
Okay, so I've got what I've got here in my items on the second page, right?
Correct.
Does anybody have any sort of telescope or binoculars?
Not me.
Nope.
I lost mine a couple of months back.
So I want to get a lay of the land. I've
Mhm.
got relatively good, this is when I'm metagaming here a little bit, but I've got relatively good perception.
Mhm.
Can I do a once over?
Yeah, for sure. So in this case, you just roll your perception. The binoculars will give you advantage over the distance, but you can still look at it, and you're not going to be at.
Is there any
disadvantage.
kind of like aid or support that other people can do, or?
Sure. So this has never been done, but there are teamwork rules. But no one's ever tried to
Right.
joint perceive something. But if you wanted to, that's fine. I'll tell you how it's done. Essentially, you would choose a primary actor, whichever of you feel has the better of the perceptions. And then you'd have the secondary actors, whoever wants to participate, would all roll theirs. And we would look at your degrees of success. If for each degree of success, you add a +5 to that primary actor's roll. And then whenever we get all that numbers, because if you fail, it's a -5. So we just do some sort of calculations over how that would work, and then we throw that into the other person's roll.
Oh, that's interesting. So a lot of game systems, you can only help. But this one, if somebody's sitting there and they're gabbing in your ear or whatever, they distract you. That's nice. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, failures actually do affect. So if you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw in, but then you like fail horribly, you critically fail, for example, you're just like, oh hey, check out what, oh sorry, I didn't mean to like throw you off while you're trying to look.
I would help because I'm a hunter and I know how to look for good prey.
For sure. Okay, so is there anyone else that wants to help?
I'll roll.
Okay, cool. So who are we gonna choose as the primary actor?
I'll help also.
Okay.
Oh well, I think I'm still down for letting our gunslinger do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
me
fine.
too.
So you guys roll
Keen
the
eyes of
secondary?
a shooter.
Yeah, the steely-eyed glare. You got it.
We'll see how it goes. I don't have pens.
I have one question here.
Yes.
And I'm okay playing it out the way it is, but it shows me as having a P in crafting, which is at 55, an S at perception, which is at 55. Shouldn't they be different? Or is it because of my crafting tools that gives me, or is it just a typo on the? Because my tracking is P at 50, my crafting is P at 55, and my perception is S at 55. Just play it with the scores that are there, and they may be miswritten down.
Yeah, just play with the scores that are there. I'm guessing I probably screwed up, but
no problem
in the process. But that's fine. Just play with what's written.
All right, so we should have all the people who assist roll first, and then.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, so I rolled a 24, which is a great success.
Cool. So we got great.
Nice. I 58.
Hold on. So +10. You got a 58.
Yep.
And you're Bobby. So let's look at your character sheet. So under your perception, you have a 55. So unfortunately, you failed.
Yep, I failed.
Okay.
I got 12 on mine.
You got 12 on your roll?
Wow, nice.
Wow, that's a really good roll. And your perception is 45, so that's basically great. So that's a +10.
I just got a standard success, but I have a little special ability. I am trusting, and I add a total +10 for the degree of success instead of the regular 5.
That's true. Thank you for reminding me.
So, teamwork bonus.
Cool.
Nice.
Where would I see something like that?
It's under the special abilities, which is the bottom of the first page.
Cool.
Lower right-hand corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I get, because I'm trusting with the ability on teamwork, I get to add additional bonuses to that teamwork roll. So Little extra fun bit.
So for you, Rufus, by the way, I figured out what happened. It is actually supposed to be S in front of that skill, because you're a scavenger, and the two things that you have skilled should be. Wait, am I
Crafting of perception.
Yes, it should be. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's crafting and perception. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. All
Or-
right. And he has crafting tools, so it makes sense. Okay. So
Yeah.
do we have?
Right.
I wasn't worried about it. I just wanted to let you know because I caught it while we were here, and I was
Yep.
going to move on.
That's fine. So
What-
you have a plus 25 to your roll.
Nice.
So minus 25, right?
Oh, sorry, yeah, minus 25.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. It's plus 25 to that threshold number. So you have to roll. So your number is 55. So you have to roll below 80.
80.
Then plus 25 to each one, right? Okay. Because for the
Yeah. So it's plus 25 to everything, basically.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
it'd be 80. So it becomes 40. Becomes 20.
and then so I've got this, and then if I was using advantage, this is what I'm going to be using.
Correct.
Well, you can't see very well. Black and a white one for my advantage.
Got it.
Well, smoke gray with red here. All right, so I'm going to drop those. 22.
Okay. So you got that would be a great success.
Amazing, right?
No, it's not amazing. It's great because 1/4 of 80 is 20, so it's just
Right.
above that. So it doesn't add 25 to every number. It would add 25 to the first number, then it would be like 12 to the second number, and then 6 to the final number, right?
6. Okay, so that would be my 18 is my amazing success. And then okay, all right, yeah. So, but great success, anyways.
Yeah.
Scanning. People are telling me little bits about what about there? What do you think about that? And I'm like, that's
So
not.
there's a
important.
shining thing on this ridge over here, etc.
Yeah. Then they go. Oh no, that's very important. Thanks. So.
Yep.
What do we get from that?
So you see that it's clear there are no signs of anyone or anything having come through here, except anything beyond the fence. There have been some animal traffic, it appears, leading up to the fence, but nothing inside the actual park itself. There haven't been people in a long time, it doesn't seem. So everything you see is just some small animal tracks like raccoons or something of that nature, but it doesn't go beyond the fence, like it doesn't go into the actual park itself. But you see no activity inside the park, nothing moving aside from flaps of random cloth hanging on poles or things like that.
Roof, how's it look? Should we head in?
I doubt it's going to be good, but there's nothing I can tell you right now that's wrong here. Although my guts don't feel good.
Shall we go in staggered? Maybe one group goes in forward and a couple of others hang back.
I'm pretty stealthy.
I think that could work.
I want to send that kid in as a canary in the coal mine, but that's not good.
I shall head down first and shed the light of the Lord down upon this place. We will find something good here, brothers and sisters.
I'll walk in with you, Pastor.
Do you want me to bring my guns? I've got nothing to lose.
Well,
Or I
why
can
don't we all just walk on in?
Okay.
I mean, if it doesn't seem to be nothing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy
Sometimes
to-
I just think it's a good idea if some of us hang back and provide cover, but
I'll hang back and provide cover.
Okay.
Pretty good shot.
So you're like off to the side while you guys walk in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sort of like put my hood up and let my coat flitter a bit and like crouch down with my bow and like try to get a good like sort of ranger position, like 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 running the hood a bit.
are you walking in with us?
Yes.
So
But crouchy.
yeah, but so Jack is going to come in with the bow armed and ready, sort of holding it and sort of looking around, but not fully because fatigue is a thing. It's not just wanting to do that, just having it ready, right, in case you have to pull and shoot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I generally would be walking into this situation, I'd have my hatchet in my hand.
Yeah, I mean, why not? And then
And
I'm pretty sure Pastor Adam just walks with his
Yeah,
sword cane
pastor
thing.
just walks in with a staff, a
Yeah.
big cross, or a big, steel cross across or on the top of it. It's just a walking stick. And then classic monk style belt. He just has kind of a bicycle chain with a couple locks wrapped around his waist, holding some robes to closed over a police or an old police issue Kevlar vest.
Can I do a nature roll to see how well the land is kept? Like, is it diseased, or is it like would I be able to tell my friends if there's like suitable drinking water at this place, or is there like good game, or good can I do a nature roll?
Yeah. So that would all of what you described as the nature roll would be basically under the survival skill. So yeah, you could certainly do that.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's 1d100.
Mhm.
Right. I got I'm specialist at it. I'm a specialist at this. So would I get advantage, I guess, or how does that work?
No, so in this case, you wouldn't get advantage unless you had a special ability that says you get advantage in survival skill all the time. Like the veteran has an ability that gives him that. So in this case, you're just rolling your perception. You just or not perception, your survival, but you just have generally a better number at it than most other people.
Okay. All right, I'll try. Woohoo! I got a natural 20.
Wow, on a D100.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, so that means that you have 50 in it, so you have a great success. So yeah, it's 2 degrees of success. The land, it's around, it's just dead naturally. It's not being kept by anything. The basic things that are growing are desert plants. Most of it's just natural. Like it doesn't look like there's any kind of abnormal decay or bizarre activity amongst the plants or the land. There hasn't been things moved around in a while. There's standard sand drifts. So it looks fine. It looks natural. It looks like nothing's out of order as far as supernatural abnormalities.
I say, well, by the looks of, as I grab the sand and rub it, in my fingers and sniff it a little bit, I say, the land is good. It seems that is quite prosperous here.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. There's not diseases or anything floating in it, as far as you can tell.
The Lord provides.
Is there any sort of vantage that I can get before these guys go in?
Yeah. So if you're wanting to sort of like provide cover for them in case something happens, is that correct?
Yeah. If they walk through the gate and I'm sitting there with my guns and can't see them, I'm not very much good to anybody, right? What do you guys think about that?
I think weren't we on a hill or something?
Mm-hmm.
Walking
Yeah,
down.
but, I think we're in a near a parking lot. We can always get on top of cars and give them cover.
Maybe there's some kind of tower out there. Did you say something about a tower?
No, I was joking about the Dark Tower. I was making a Dark Tower reference. There's no actual tower. There's not really any cars either. There's like a booth that you could probably get on top of. But the hill that you came on, you were on a hill. It's a little bit far for handguns, but if you had a rifle, you'd probably be fine. But the one thing you can do is sort of take aim, and you could just hold that and just get up to 3 advantage, which you would only roll 1 extra die, but you get a +10 to your roll.
Can I get on the ticket booth or whatever people have to pass by to get into the thing and then take aim?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
So if you want to do you want to do the ticket booth at the gate or the one at the parking lot? There's like a booth at the parking lot, and then there's like a ticket booth inside, like at the actual gate.
Where would you guys like to have me?
I think probably the ticket booth at the gate.
Okay.
I'm going to climb the ticket booth of the and get onto the roof of it.
Yeah,
I think that's you're going to go up there with Rufus.
Yes, because I'm very good at climbing too.
Yes. Athletics is the thing to climb up. If you wanted to roll that, that's fine. I was just going to let you climb up it, but if you want to roll it, that's cool with me too. Otherwise, you can just get up it.
Cool. Because I get I think I got a special thing or something like that. Yes, hunting boots, climbing and stealth advantage, running and distance. There you go.
Yep.
Cool. So yes, I'm gonna climb with my friend.
You also, with your escape artist ability, anytime if you fall off of something, you get to re-roll a failure, like to not fall off. That sort of thing. It's a special ability you have. Basically, you can not fall off of stuff if you want to. Cool. So you guys can climb up there. You can get a good view of most of the stuff. You're really only like 10 feet off the ground, but that's still 10 feet off the ground, which gives you a pretty good vantage or view over the open area. So now I'll explain what you guys see.
Okay.
Entering the park, a chill runs up your spine as you see a wide thoroughfare, originally designed to allow several hundred people to pass at one time, but it's devoid of any movement other than the slow drifting of sand in the light wind. The tattered molding remnants of stuffed animals long forgotten lay in disorganized heaps near the ruins of dilapidated kiosks. A thick layer of grime covers everything in the park, creating a bizarre sheen in the waning sunlight. Okay, I've got to read my own writing. Everything inside the park follows the same motif: archaeological expeditions. All of the kiosks, buildings, rides, and attractions express some form of exploration of human development. Some of the rides show images of trains, boats, or animal transports, almost all containing the names island, cave, temple, etc. At the far end of the east end of the park is an almost the east end of the park is almost entirely filled with the wooden structure, the ridges and valleys, and metal track that make up the coaster ride. The giant coaster's gate sign is half fallen, but what you can read is blank blank of terror. Just below the structure is a large building that seems to be built under the ride with the facade of a cave entrance and the name Museum of Antiquities, but has a warning sign about bright lights and loud sounds. Beside the museum, only seemingly built with the coaster ride coming dangerously close to it, is the large wheel labeled the Observatory. Looking around, you see very few signs of any activity, even animals, throughout the park, lending even more to the idea that there might still be undisturbed things here inside the park. However, based on the height of the sun, you realize that you only have about an hour before the light will be gone.
Do we see any like concession stands anywhere?
Yeah, there's kiosks all over, some of which seem to be selling foods, according to like the signs on them, from what you can tell.
I wish to search the ticket booth for a tourist map.
Nice.
Very good idea. Okay, so I hadn't thought of that. That's an interesting one. Go ahead and roll your salvage. I hadn't thought of it, so go ahead and roll the salvage skill for me. This is just rolling the skill.
Right, where's that? Salvage.
Yeah, it's on your character sheet. It's about. Let me see where it's at on your character sheet. I should have everyone's character sheet open. So the salvage skill is sort of in the middle. It's on the right hand side. It's got the little cogwheel coming out of it.
Oh yes. So 70. My salvage is 70.
Correct.
All right. Cool. So I need to get under that, yeah?
Correct.
All right. Cool. All right. Hang on. Let me type this out in Roll20. Because I'm doing all my rolls in Roll20. Which is pretty awesome. Under 70. Under 70. All right. Here I go. Oh, I got 23.
Ooh. Okay. So 23 is going to be, that's 2 degrees of success. That's a great success. So you're going to find 2 items. That's how it works. You find a map because that's what you were looking for. So you find a map, but then you also find a very helpful guide that tells you how much stuff costs in the park. So you can generally tell which of the things on the map are going to more likely have items, i.e. more expensive items are going to be stored somewhere other than like in a kiosk.
So at this point,
using the map essentially is what happens.
So at this point, I imagine that Pastor Adam and I have actually walked into the park past that ticket booth. So I'm imagining Jack is scrounging around in the ticket booth, and Pastor Adam and I have already kind of walked away from them. And unless somebody has a different suggestion, I would actually walk all the way kind of, slowly kind of looking left and right, maybe to the center of the park, just making sure doesn't seem to be any people lurking about.
I've got a question here. This will maybe set tone for something here. What sort of camaraderie is there here? Like,
that's a question I didn't ask before we started the adventure.
Can we pause this? Do I trust you guys to all be there searching for stuff and not getting mine?
Well, I kind of imagine, like, if it's the apocalypse, we've probably been on the road together for a bit. However happenstance we managed to meet along the way. Like, I kind of figure it would be at a point where, the strength in numbers kind of benefit of the group, where, hey, if we find food, we're all kind of eating, kind of a camaraderie.
You always see the best in people, Pastor. All right, cool. I'm cool with that. I just didn't know what the setup was here. So if we're like maybe saying we've been together for a little bit, there's some community here, I'm cool. It just struck me that, wait a minute.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying like necessarily, everybody is like, rock solid friends.
No.
But that strength in numbers benefit of the group kind of thing definitely still.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. I mean, I got that impression from the way that Scott described. We've been traveling on the road for a bit. And I certainly think that the pastor is probably the least trustworthy of us all.
Yeah, they always are.
Anyway, but like I say, I say also like, hey, I found the map and I found information of all the weird prices that these things have. Some of them look quite expensive. Maybe there could be really good salvaging, or perhaps good for trade. What do you think, my respectable elders, as he sort of says to everyone?
Can't eat money.
No, but you could probably trade these like items for something.
That is true. The Lord does work in mysterious ways.
Maggie, your case is proven right there.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I'm guessing that this isn't like a huge amusement park, and we can probably shout back and forth at each other. I'm actually wondering, did we just lose Scott? Anybody?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Because otherwise, yeah, he said he needed to step away for just a second in the chat.
Yeah, his wife probably either got home or his puppy really had to go out.
His wife?
Puppy, and it's adorable.
He has a quote-unquote wife?
Oh, no. Like they just had their anniversary over the weekend.
Oh, okay. So I would say, assuming nothing else happens, it sounds like the place is pretty clear, and maybe we all kind of meet back in the, kind of maybe like right in front of the ticket area. I'd say, to Rufus, maybe keep an eye up there, but so far everything looks clear. I'm sorry, Jose, your character's name is Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron.
And you're still out in the parking lot?
No, I was behind you guys. I was behind the pastor.
Oh, okay, cool. So I would just, we could just sort of chit chat and paddywhack until Scott gets back on. So
I have returned.
Okay, cool. I was just gonna say, to the group, we've kind of gathered together back as a group. It's kind of funny. I've never even been to an amusement park. This is my first time.
You're not missing much. Now, anyways.
Indeed.
I did chaperone the youth group when we went to that Six Flags Magic Mountain back before the demons came, took the earth over. It was a good bit of fun.
Yes.
But Aaron would look at you guys and he would go like, if you guys have no problem with it, you mind if I scout ahead? See if I can find anything?
Cool.
Sure.
Just keep within voice range, so if you run into any trouble, we can hear you.
Do you want some help?
Absolutely, if you don't mind.
Sure. I'll tag along.
I definitely think we should everybody stay within shouting distance, but maybe we should spread out before we lose the sunlight.
Hey Jack, let's take a look at that map and see what you got going on there.
All right, sure. Jack passes the map over. Hopefully, you can read it better than I can. I'm literate, so I can't really read that well. My mum and papa didn't really teach me that much when they died. So hopefully you can read it better than I can.
Okay, so I take the map and maybe look at it with the pastor or something, try to figure out which are the key. I think the key thing for us is to find some food and maybe a place to sleep tonight, and then we can get to do some serious scavenging in the morning. But let's take care of some shelter and some food right now.
Cool.
Seems an excellent plan to me.
So
Should I come down? 'Cause
Yeah.
Jack came down, went in, right? You want me to join? And
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the pastor turns around and kind of waves you over.
all right, my
I almost
character.
lost the name. Hey, Rufus, why don't you come on down here? I think we're good down here. Doesn't seem to be any activity inside this place at all.
I do so, of course. GM.
cool. Yeah. So when you're looking at the map, you can tell that aside from the coaster ride, the Ferris wheel, and the Museum of Antiquities, which you can see, and all these kiosks scattered about. Right there at the entrance, there's this long building that happens to house what is labeled on your map as the gift shop. And a half section of that is labeled as cafeteria, or actually it's labeled as the canteen. I'm sorry, not cafeteria. It wouldn't be labeled as cafeteria. What am I talking about? It's Venture World. Yeah, and so there's that main building there, and then there's a series of kiosks, and then areas that are labeled staff only on your map, which are parts of rides, a couple of buildings that you can kind of see when you look around to try to cross-reference the map. So there's some staff only areas, but not sure what that means exactly.
Let's go check out the canteen.
That sounds like the best bet.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, start heading on that way.
Cool.
And I think
okay.
I would just holler, if Aaron's not with us, I think I would just holler back, hey, Aaron, we're going to check out the canteen.
Got it. And he will head to the gift shop.
Okay.
So you guys are basically going in the same building. You're just going in the first half, and they're going in the back half, essentially. So you're
Yes.
basically heading in the same place. With the map, where you guys already figured out. Never mind. I was gonna say something happens, but you already figured stuff out based on looking at the map. Okay. So you will spend roughly an hour, sort of meandering about, looking into stuff, trying to figure things out. Is that correct? Trying to scavenge, as it were.
Sure.
I would be looking for like a locked door or something, like a supply room.
Got it. That's a perfect thing to be looking for. Why don't we go with you then, and then we'll come back to the others that are in the canteen, because there's some stuff that'll happen when they get there. Cool. All right. So Aaron, you walk around the gift shop, and it's basically. Where's Rufus? Is he coming along with the canteen crew, or the gift shop crew, which I think is Aaron and Jack?
Where would you guys like me? Do we have like people who are more proficient? I mean, it seems like I should split with. If there's somebody else who's kind of a combat oriented, can I use the word? Somebody else who's kind of a badass.
I was gonna say everyone in this game, everyone's both a techie and combat person. It's like a combined thing. But the pastor has a big staff. The doctor seemingly is a doctor, and I think has some knives or
A
something.
hatchet and a scalpel.
Yeah, so there's that. But
I have a bow and arrow also.
right, these other two are, as far as I'm understanding, clearly using like bows and arrows, right? Aaron, are you
Yes.
also using a bow and arrow? Like Jose, is Aaron also?
Yes, yes.
So
I
these-
got a bow and arrow also.
So these two have bows and arrows, right? So both of your people, like the two, Jack and Aaron, have a bow and arrow with them. So essentially, if you're looking at it, they have some ranged attacks, and the other two are using close quarters stuff, and that's how it sort of breaks down.
I'll go wherever. He's got a dark outlook on life. He'll walk into hell if needs be. can't be any worse than his life already is.
I mean, essentially everyone's going to the same building, so if you wanted to do like a kind of in between, so you can respond to either way, that'll work too. Like
Okay.
Yeah,
in
I
that
mean, I
halfway
assume-
point.
I assume we can all kind of see across this whole room. Just
Yeah,
that.
it's just a big
one
building.
side-
There's like a little end, like an
Yeah.
area that sort of divides them, but they're not really like separate.
Okay, I'm not a great just metagaming here a little bit. I'm not a great scavenger or anything like that. I'm good at crafting stuff once I get my hands on stuff. So I would say I'll stand here, holler if you need fire support.
There you go.
All right, cool.
So doing a kind of Overwatchy style, we were in between the two and ready to sort of respond either way.
Does that allow me to do the take aim
Well-
thing where?
Yeah, I would have you pick basically which team you're taking aim toward in case they get attacked, but otherwise you could respond.
Okay.
to it, I guess.
That's how that works. Okay, cool.
Because you can't
I
take.
still got.
I guess you could if you were dual wielding take aim in both directions, but I don't know how that would work out when you actually fired.
You got to hold your guns really cool like that, right?
No, I still got my bow in my hand, and now and again I just like pull the string now and again, but type thing with a loose arrow in it, type thing like Robin Hood a bit, like tense it up a little bit, then relax, and then move somewhere else, tense it again, type thing.
Yeah.
You're exhausted.
Make sure that it's still tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm 14. I got energy like a
Bloody 14-year-old.
like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the gift shop area is full of just a bunch of random stuffed animals and little trinket toys. Everything is labeled with the park logo, and has the it says like Adventure World, right, which is the name of the place that you've finally sort of figured out. Everything has the label on it, and everything has like price tags of numbers that you remember from the pre-apocalypse time as numbers that meant something, but since money doesn't matter anymore, who the hell cares? But why don't you go ahead and roll your scavenge for me, Aaron?
Can I find out what other people's scavenges
Or
are, just so I
salvage,
can
sorry.
get an idea of what a decent scavenge is in this game?
Sure. So the salvage numbers, if you guys want to just share them, that's fine with me.
Mine's 42.
Mine is 70.
It's 40.
Did you say 40?
Yes, 40.
And Pastor Adam is apparently 67.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I typed it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm 37. I'm the low. Yeah, so yeah, for sure.
You're
I'm
on the low
not
end, yeah.
not very good at this. Perfect. All right.
So it
I'm
sounds
sorry.
like
I
you're-
thought somebody said they were 70. Is
yeah.
that right?
So,
That's
so
me.
so Jack London has a 70 in salvage.
Okay. All right. So we're split up pretty good.
Salvage is one of the stats. So the counterpoint to salvage would be like tracking to find food. So if you have a high tracking, then you're like, well, I'm still okay. I can
Right.
hunt things in the wild and eat them.
Right.
So even though salvage is here on the character sheet,
Mhm.
looking like it's a saving throw or a resistance type thing, it's actually an active, right?
Yeah, so it is an active skill. It's a special stat. So there's base stats like intelligence and agility, but then there are second stats which are derivative stats of those numbers, right? So that's why it looks like a saving throw, is because it's the same thing as your resilience or as your dodge or something like that.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like outside of the skills. It's
Right.
more like one of those
Cool.
important life kind of things.
Yeah, and it's based on your ability to like notice stuff and sort of be lucky. So it's a combined based on your luck and your ability to notice things. Because like somebody with a lot of luck might just randomly find things on the ground and therefore their salvage is higher. Yeah, because they're lucky.
Yes, I got a luck of 8.
A luck
wow,
of
that's
8?
nice. God, I don't have
Yes.
that.
No, so you have a luck of AD, and you have 8 luck uses per game. So the luck use per game special stat is that when you fail a roll, so I'm going to tell you this now before we get into real serious rolling. If you fail a roll, you can use one of those luck uses per game and re-roll.
Per game.
Yeah, So if you have, like in his case, a luck of 80, then you have 8 times per game that you can re-roll failed rolls.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. For some reason, I thought you said you could only use 1. I'm like,
No.
well, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of
No.
having a high luck.
No, the higher the luck, the more times per game you can re-roll failures.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess over here in the cantina area, what do we see? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to?
I'm still back with the guys in the gift shop.
Sorry.
I wanted them to roll he was rolling salvage for me because he's looking around, and Jack is also. Are you also looking around too, Jack, for stuff? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So both of you are gonna roll. You're gonna roll salvage for me to figure out what you find.
Okay.
Now you have an option.
Cool.
You can either find items or component pieces. This is one of the tricks of the game. Component pieces are the things you use to build stuff, and items are obviously just items. So it's up to you to choose how you want the salvage to pan
I
out.
want to go for components.
Okay.
I'll go for items.
Okay.
And I got a 29.
Okay.
And I
29
got a
out of
20.
Nice. So that's a 20 out of 80. No, I'm sorry. What is your salvage? 70?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a great success. Okay, and you had Aaron had what was it again? 20.
40.
Oh, sorry, what's that?
I rolled a 29, but my
29.
total is 40.
Okay, so you have 1 degree of success. So you have a success and a great success. Okay, and you were going for items, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't open my book correctly. Hold on.
And I'm going for things that you make things with.
Right. So yours is easy because you're going to be doing 2d4. That's what you're going to roll right now to find out how many component pieces you find.
Alright.
And then I'm going to find over here.
And the nice thing is component parts are just generic. So if you're trying to make something out of clothes,
I find 6 pieces.
Cool. So you have 6 component pieces you find by scavenging around, which are useful for the crafting skill that we were talking about just a little bit ago. And or whatnots. Let's see. I'm trying to find the random salvage shard. I'm sorry, I can't find it for some reason. I didn't put it in an easy to find location. Note to self. Move it. There it is. It's a whole page, and I just kept skipping it. All right, so Aaron. So Jose, if you want to roll for me 2d10s and tell me what the 2 numbers are.
And a 6 and a 4.
6 and a 4. Okay. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. You find a composite bow while you're milling around. You find what seems to be some sort of weird toy bow for the park, but it's an actual functioning bow.
Nice.
Not helpful for you, really, but you can break it down into pieces if you want to later.
Yeah. And one thing is, if I can, I would like to find out where the register is, so that way I can go behind there and see if I can find anything down there, like maybe like a small med kit, like bandages or something, or anything useful.
a handgun. That's what I would look for around a
Yeah,
cafe.
well, whatever I can find.
Okay, yeah, so that's targeting salvage. I'll go ahead and give it to you. I'll let you find. What do you want to find? Do you want to find batteries or medkit?
I think medkit is more.
Okay. Yeah. Find a medkit. It's cool with me. So that takes up the time you guys are looking around, and that's what you find. You guys in the canteen. When you get into the canteen, it's a cafeteria, as far as you can tell. There's some rotting food smells that appear to have been part of some buffet that never got cleaned up. It just smells horrible in there. But aside from this grease and grime that's on everything, it does seem to have a functioning, or it appears to be a functioning kitchen. As far as you can tell, it has all of the things you'd expect, like a fridge and a stove. I don't know what I just did. Sorry, I seem to have... There we go. Something happened over here in the chat. Okay, so it has a stove and some fridges, storage space, and things like that, cabinets and whatnot.
I'm just gonna guess that we should avoid any of the refrigeration units.
Yeah,
I
probably
do
not
not want to
bad.
smell the hell that is coming out of there.
No doubt. No doubt. I don't blame you for that. Let's just look through the pantries here. See if there are some dried goods or some canned goods or something.
Okay.
Most of these places ran off of big cans of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the number 10 cans.
So go ahead, both of you, and roll salvage for me. And you're
Okay.
doing that in a second. Those guys are gonna be
Okay, so I got a 4.
Whoa.
Oh, I critically failed. Or I failed. I rolled 100.
So that's critical
I
failure.
am oblivious.
You open a bunch of empty cabinets, just spider webs and butterflies.
Broom closet.
Just open it up, moth flies out, that kind of stuff.
There
broom
is
closet.
not a lick of food in here. Yeah, I'm oblivious. He's looking at a pamphlet he found, reading the menu.
Meanwhile, over here, you find a bunch of stuff. First off, you're going to find 5 food units worth of dried, unpopped popcorn, as well as a number of food items. You said you had 4, right?
Yes.
So that's an amazing success. You find 3 food items. I guess that would just be 9 food units of food in canned goods.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you explain to me again? The food unit is how much we need for a day?
Yeah. Well, so a food unit is just a measurement of food. People, based on their size, need to eat a certain number of food units per day. So
Right.
I think all of you are average size, in which case you have to eat 2 food units every day.
Oh, 2 a day. Okay.
Small people only have to eat 1.
Gotcha.
Actually, Jack may be...
And did we all started out with some food units, right?
Yeah, you all had some food units on you.
Enough for 2 days. Okay.
I think
Is
so.
there a place on the regular tracking sheet where you put that?
Food units?
Yeah.
How many you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, just under items, you would just put food units. In this case, it's just canned
Gotcha.
foods. It'd be like just some canned food.
Okay.
But like there's, for example, a jerky bag has 4 food units, right? When it's full, and then you would just eat those food units as you go. But there's not like a food unit tracker, like an ammo tracker or something. That's the character sheet's still in a rough draft. There might be a way to track that. We haven't figured it out yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I would also look at the stove. I'm curious to know if it's gas or if it's electric.
It is a gas stove, and do you have mechanics skill?
I do not.
Okay.
Actually, I'm pretty high on it anyway, but
Do you want to try for it?
to
know
just
that
see if
it's
it'll start.
there's some, it looks like there's some functionality problems that you might be able to put back together, but otherwise it appears to be mostly fine.
Do you have a skill number? Is it in things that you're not at least proficient at?
On the character sheet, no, but it's the same base stat number. You just roll at disadvantage.
So it would be I'd be rolling my intelligence at a disadvantage.
Correct.
Okay. See how this goes. Why am I not? 69. And my intelligence is 65, so it's a fail.
Failure. Yeah. So you're not able to put it together to get it working, but it seems like for the most part it would work if some pieces were put into places or some things were reconnected. But otherwise, it's not functionally broken. I mean, it would work if things were connected properly.
Hey, Rufus, you're pretty handy, aren't you? You want to take a look at this thing?
I'm surprisingly not.
Handy?
Mechanics,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
crafty, but not mechanics.
Gotcha.
So I would say that means I'm a hacker and not a fixer, right? Is that am I reading that right, GM?
It's more like you're more like a sewer rather than a screwdriver. You're pretty good with like things like needles and threads, maybe a hammer and nails, but not so much at like taking things that are moving apart or stuff like that.
No, that's too bad. I was hoping to heat up some of this soup, but maybe we'll just eat it cold. Unless somebody else can figure out how to work this thing.
So to explain that just a little bit better, the mechanic skill is what you use for vehicles and weapons, like a gun, like the moving parts on a gun, versus like the crafting skill, which is what you'd use for like barriers and armor, right? And that's what the skills are that's what they do.
All right. I guess Pastor Adam will kind of turn around empty-handed. I'm not finding much of anything. I walked into purgatory of the restaurant world. I can go ahead and take a look at that. You might have just been doing something wrong anyway.
Well, I never was much of a cook.
All apologies. Pastor Adam will mansplain. I won't, but Pastor Adam will. Apologies.
I lost 10 pounds once when my microwave broke.
I actually fail by 4. With disadvantage, I rolled 54. The other one would have been a 4. You know what? I'm gonna spend a luck use. I'm gonna spend one of my luck and re-roll that. Oh god, no, that's still a fail. Not 100, but it's still I still fail.
You failed on a luck use roll?
Uh-oh.
Dun dun dun.
Right?
As you're trying to rework
I failed on the re-roll, yes.
As you're trying to rework it, because failing on a re-roll counts as a critical failure. It's essentially the same. So as you are trying to rework it, you end up breaking something off, and everyone outside hears this ping, ting, 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 pink, and something falls to the floor.
See, now, if you hadn't messed with it before I got over here, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Expletive, you, Pastor.
No need to take the Lord's name in vain, sister.
Well, maybe you should have invoked a little god before you started messing with the damn stove, okay? And with that, I'm gonna kind of stomp away into the gift shop.
All right. So as you do, the darkness falls upon the park, and you guys feel fatigue embrace you. I mean, despite not really having a pretty hefty day of work, you just feel tired, just exhausted, and nothing but food and sleep take over your thoughts. So, you have some food. What do you guys want to do? Darkness is starting to fall in the park.
Ooh, we should definitely probably have some kind of light, whether by a fire or some kind of lantern.
Well, my papa used to show me how to make fire with the old twisting sticks with a blow on the bit of little dry little bits of hay. You know what I'm saying?
There are a lot of little burnable stuffed things throughout this gift shop.
That sounds like a toxic inferno waiting to happen.
Well, now here's an idea. There is a wide open hood van inside the kitchen. We could start a fire right there on top of that. Let that hood fan, let it flow out like a chimney.
Hood fans. Sorry. I don't think it works that way. I think you got to have it powered.
Oh, surely it's just got a flue like on a fireplace.
We could try pulling out the grease filter, because at least it would vent, but...
Well, why don't we just make a fire outside? Anybody?
Well, we could do
Get the ball in here.
I was thinking of protection from the elements is all.
I'm thinking, since carnies were here, we should find some meth and we don't need to worry about sleep.
What is meth?
That's the devil's baby powder, son.
We'll explain it when you're older.
Yeah, makes your teeth rot off.
So I guess I would just, sort of grab up some of the stuffed animals and maybe make a little pile outside the door. Really rotten childhood that I had. I'd pick up a little elephant or something like that, and pull out my lighter and light its little trunk on fire.
Okay.
Unless Jack, you want to rub your sticks together.
If Jack
Rough.
goes to rub the sticks together, that's a
Yeah,
survival
I'm
roll.
gonna-
Otherwise,
I want to gather up all the, Barney toys, all the Barney ones, the really annoying toys that you found annoying as a kid when you was very young, because like burning Barney is a good ritual. Oh me, yeah.
Oh.
okay. Yeah. So you guys can make a fire out of the stuff you find in the gift shop, and you can maybe warm up some of your food so you guys don't have to eat extremely lukewarm soup, like room temperature soup. You can warm it up a little bit so that it's a little bit warmer. You can all consume 2 food units worth of food in this sort of rest time, and you're pretty well good to go at that point.
So I would just say we used up all the soup we just found.
Basically, right?
All right.
Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, and you found how many food
Nice.
units?
And we would have
I got
finished off
6
with
food
one
units? Yeah.
Yeah, I got
round of popcorn.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
got a 30 for making fire.
Nice. Great. Perfect. So you make the fire just fine, and you can warm the soup, pop the popcorn, so you guys get some soup and popcorn.
Yes, we've got 4 popcorn left. All right.
Yeah, Aaron will walk up to the doctor and like hand her the med kit. He'd be like, "Here you go, doc. I don't know if it's much, but I know it's hard to find this kind of stuff nowadays."
Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it.
Popcorn soup, exactly. Yeah. So, are you guys going to take watch, or are you just going to go to sleep? You all feel the pressing need for sleep upon your soul.
Pastor Adam rolls over and goes right to bed.
Yeah, I got
would
you.
Says a quiet prayer over everybody.
Would
And,
the
goes to
shop have like a, what is it called? One of those gates that you can close,
For sure.
maybe like
For sure.
rig it so that way, nobody can get in.
Yeah. Yeah, you most certainly can pull it closed. In the case of rigging it, that would be a crafting roll to sort of like wedge something in there and jam it so that it can't be opened without like actually putting effort into it.
I'll give it a shot.
That makes it a barrier.
And I would give him a hand over there.
Okay. So you'll roll your craft skill, and then your degrees of success will be a bonus or negative.
Is this a barricade that you guys are making of some sort?
They're making they're making a barricade. Yeah, they're making a barrier out of it.
It's kind of that, like that. I imagine it's like kind of one of those accordion doors like you see on the street.
Yeah.
Is there any? I'm not perfectly seeing in my mind's eye, but while they're doing that, could I also try and set up some sort of but what I'm thinking is, a big line of thread with tin cans on it, but an equivalent sort of alarm system while they're doing that?
Yep, totally.
Okay.
So you guys will spend an hour basically doing that, and you can totally do it too. That's crafting as well.
All right. So anyway, I got a 53.
Okay,
I
53.
got a 12 of mine.
So hold on. Your 53 is how many? Is it a success or a failure?
It's a success. Sorry.
Okay, just one success, or is it?
Yeah,
is it,
one.
okay.
One.
So
Yeah.
So Jose said you would add 5 to Aaron's threshold. What was your crafting number originally? Your craft skill number.
My crafting is 45.
Okay, so it'd be 50, and you got a 12.
And I
You said?
rolled a 12. Yeah.
That's the exact number you needed for 3 degrees of success with her assistance. So essentially, they're going to need to. It's an amazing success on the barrier. If something were to come along and break it, they're going to have to either get an amazing success on their first try, or they'll have to do 3 tries to break it open. So you guys get some time to take them, to deal with them before they would get through. So
I think there's 5 of us. I'd be up for just sitting 2-hour shifts, a 2-hour watch. How much sleep do you have to get in order to be rested?
It's between 4 and 8 hours. You get 4 hours. It gives you back some health essentially. So every 4 hours you get health back. So 4 hours is essentially a watch period.
Okay, well I'll take a watch.
What's a critical failure?
When you roll 0, 0, 0, or 100.
Okay. My alarm system is crap. But it's not 0, 0 crap.
Right. You just didn't get a success, right? So you failed at it. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? So basically, it's just like a bundle of strings that appear to be doing something, but
they're not.
they're really not. They're not even like half. They're not even really crossing each other. They're like crossing each other, and like there's a gap between them, and like so.
Now,
some kind of string system.
Just for my curiosity of this system, how would you rule roll that a character made? Because like right now, I'm sitting here as a player, knowing that my alarm system didn't work when I wouldn't necessarily know that this happened.
It's a question of whether you would know about it or not know about whether or not.
Well, I mean, I'll be a responsible role player and pretend that I think my character does. But how would you do something like that hidden in this game from the players? I mean, you can think about this in, post-game wrap-up. We could talk about that. Yeah, but anyways.
Curious. Good question.
Yeah.
So, like, you tied off the string and you think it's set up to work, but it doesn't.
Right. I mean, I'll be a responsible role player and I'll pretend that I know, right?
Right.
But,
Yeah, but that's cool, yeah.
No, because you're right, because there might be people like, oh, I'm going to try again. You could actually, this is where that luck use per game thing comes in. You can try to re-roll that failure if you want to.
Yeah, with my 2 luck, I think I'll save them for right now.
Probably smart. With that low of a luck, you're like,
nah.
Okay. So you guys set up, Maggie's going to take first watch.
Yep.
Everyone else gets to go to sleep.
Yeah, the pastor's been asleep, rolled over and started sleeping
while
before
these guys
they
were
even started fortifying.
Got it.
But on the other side, he does wake up very early. It's still kind of ingrained to have to wake up and get the sermon ready for the church.
Got it.
So he's probably going to take the last watch.
Got it. All right, so everyone else, are you guys going to sleep? I assume you have the opportunity now, so I assume that you will, but is there anyone who's going to be like, I'm not going to sleep?
I'm sleeping.
Okay.
I'm sleeping. I'm 14. I need my sleep.
Okay.
I'll take a watch here, but since the doc seems pretty on it.
I'll wake you up in a couple of hours and you can swap out.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, so everyone goes to sleep. Doctor, you have to roll for me a resilience roll, if you would.
Oh, crap. That's one of my very, very strong suits right there. Oh, wow. I got a 5. 005. All right, yes, and my resilience is 35.
Okay. Cool. I'll get back to you later.
Wow. Scared me there for a minute.
Well, I mean, I could have made it a worse thing, but I didn't because it wouldn't make sense. So for the rest of you, so Doctor, you get to be out of the equation for a moment. For the rest of you, after several hours of sleep, you find yourself suddenly awakened by loud music being played over the park's sound system, which you guys didn't get working, so you have no idea how that is even happening. But you find yourself suddenly awakened by orchestral music playing something very strange. I'm gonna get it playing in the background over here for those at home. But it seems to be some kind of organ music with some accompaniment. With a loud click, all of the lights in the park come on, and you find yourself, oh, by the way, I should have clarified, you're not laying inside of the building anymore. You're out in the thoroughfare, and everything is cleaned up and clear when you wake up. The lights come on, and the entire park is just lit. Everything you saw from before, all of your exploration that revealed that the park had adventure themes, it's now gone and different. In fact, everything seems to be related to clowns and this giant tent that is built up where the roller coaster was. It's you guys, and your doctor's not with you.
Oh no!
Father, what the hell's going on?
I was just about to ask the same thing. Where's the doc? Anybody see her? What is going on here?
I pinch myself to see if I'm still awake or asleep.
You pinch yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's pain.
Okay. Ow. Mm. Yeah. Well, it's definitely not a dream. She's definitely gone.
This is the work of demons. They still haven't left this world. Pastor stands up and, firmly plants his staff, displaying that cross.
Behind you, around the fence, you notice that everything is just dark. There doesn't seem to be. Not only is there no skies, but it doesn't seem like you can visibly see past the fence to the park.
Do not believe it, brothers. It is the trickery of the devil. He's trying to blind your eyes. He's trying to make you see what he wants you to see. None of this is real. And I guess he's going to start walking towards, walking back towards the gift shop, or if that's still around.
Yep, it's still there. The park still looks the same, but you were suddenly outside of the building you were sleeping.
Hey, Maggie! Kind of calling out, looking for her. Sister Maggie, where are you, girl?
There's no response from inside of the gift shop.
Is there any tracks of struggle or dragging or anything like that?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope. And when you get to the building, you find that barricade that was built is not there anymore. It's been pushed back. The gate's back to being open. In fact, there's no signs that it was ever moved at all.
Oh my. What should we do? I'm scared.
She's been taken somewhere.
But where?
Guns drawn, obviously. Both. Should be obvious, but I'm going to explicitly say it. Yeah.
I think wherever we go, we need to stick together. We can't allow our numbers to be thinned. There are wolves among the sheep, my children.
Can I try and track her?
Sure. So you're basically going to roll tracking, right?
Yeah. Your usual cowboy looking at the...
Would I be able to give him a hand?
Yeah, you guys can both help out.
I need to taste the animal spoor.
Lick the ground and whatever. So go ahead, Aaron, why don't you roll your tracking, and then we'll find out what you add to Rufus's roll.
I can help as well. Can I help?
Yes, you can.
I rolled 33 and my tracking's 45.
Okay, so degree of success.
See if I can help out. My tracking is 55, I think. Wow, I got 16. I got 16.
Yeah, we should have had you actually do it, but all right.
Yeah, so that's 2 degrees of success, so plus 10. So it's plus 15 to you there, Rufus.
12. Is what I rolled.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I have to divide 15 by 3 and add that.
No. So don't worry about it. Just what was the total? What was your number? Because I have a quick reference chart. It's an appendix.
12.
Okay. No. What was your stat itself beforehand?
Oh, 50. 50.
Okay, so it's 65 is your target number, right? Because you're adding 15 to that. And then you rolled a 12. So being that 65 was your target number, your numbers become 32 and 16. So you got less than your amazing success. You got an amazing success.
Right.
Right, because of their help.
I might have done it anyway. Well, regardless. Thank you, guys. I mean, we did well.
Right, yeah, you would have, with a 12, you would have nailed it anyway because a 50 is 12, right? So you would have got it either way. But that's how it works. So it adds to that threshold number. That's extremely important when you have things like you rolled a 40 like you rolled a 51, right, on that roll. You would have failed, but because of their bonus,
Right,
you succeeded. Right. So it doesn't. When it gets to that lower end, I've got the quick reference sheet to be able to help you figure it out. Not a big deal. But okay, so you got 3. Even with this amazing success that you've got on your roll, you can see no signs of her. You do see signs of small feet, like children's feet, in the sand around the park. And it seems to be moving all over the place. Like no real clear definition of their movements. They're just like they've been doing it for a long time, and it's been all over the place.
I obviously share this information with everybody else, but
Maybe she was carried off.
Indeed.
All those small feet everywhere. Some Lord of the Flies kind of horrible children around here. Unbaptized, no doubt.
Oh no.
unwashed and unbaptized. Ooh.
Right then, a sound squelches over the speakers to the park, and you hear a voice that follows. It says, "Come one, come all, step into the big top and try your luck at games of chance and fancy."
Oh dear. Sounds
I'm
pretty...
definitely getting my bow out at this point and staying behind the father.
I get my bow out ready.
So, Maggie, you are
Yes.
hanging out in the gift shop, and these people are all sleeping around you. Everything's fine as far as you can tell throughout the couple of hours of sleeping that they've been doing. After about 2 hours, you start to feel uneasy. Roll for me your resolve special stat.
Okay. I haven't tried to wake anybody up yet.
Not yet. It's only 2 hours in.
Ooh, that's a fail.
Okay, so for whatever reason, you feel incredibly uncomfortable, as if you're sort of being watched, or like there's something in the room with you. But looking around, you don't see anything. You just feel this uncomfortable feeling. And this uncomfortable feeling seems to be resonating from the far end of the park, where the roller coaster was, as it were.
Okay. And these guys are all still asleep, so I think I would try and I would kind of like from my perspective, we're inside the gift shop and the barricade's still up, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I would go over, I would, give the barricade a good shake, make sure it's still locked.
Mhm.
And then I think I would probably say, I think I wouldn't want to freak everybody out, and since Rufus was going to take the next watch, I think I'd try and wake up Rufus.
Okay, so you're gonna walk over.
Give him a good
and
shake.
Give him a shake.
Yep.
He doesn't wake up.
Okay, after he doesn't wake up, I'd reach over to the pastor and I'd shake him, shake Aaron, shake them all.
Yep, none of them seem to wake up. And why don't you go ahead and roll medicine for me?
That is a regular success.
Okay. There's nothing medically wrong with them. There's no reason why they shouldn't wake up. But they're not waking up.
Can I smack Jack really hard across the face just to see if that helps?
Absolutely. You will have to make no rolls. You just successfully smack Jack. What is your standard damage? Is it just 1d4?
Yeah, I think so.
I assume that you're not intending to do serious damage to Jack.
No.
Okay. So we'll just go ahead and make it like no real damage actually gets taken. Maybe 1, but that's not important right now.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be a factor at the moment. Anyway,
Okay.
You smack Jack extremely hard, as it were, but not so hard as to break a nose. But Jack just doesn't react to it.
Wow. Okay. I'm yelling at him. I'm cursing at him. I'm wake the fuck up, all of you guys. Come on. What's going on here?
Make one more resilience roll for me.
It was another success, 21. So that is a regular success.
Cool. You feel this sort of wave of exhaustion come over you, but you just sort of shake it off, and you're still feeling uneasy. No idea what's happening right now, but something definitely seems to be up, and they're really sleepy, as it were. Back to you guys. What do you guys want to do? You're standing around in this place of dark, and there's lights on in this park, and there's a voice on the loudspeaker. And little feet.
I'm under the impression that maybe we should do like the speakers are saying, only cautious-like. If there's somebody there talking at the source of this, perhaps we can find whoever took dear Maggie away.
Well, they might even took Maggie away. Who knows?
You lead, Father.
Please, Pastor, I'm not associated with them Catholics.
Hmm.
No offense, Catholics.
He's just role playing. He's not talking trash.
Yet. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I will start leading the way towards, I'm assuming, the big top.
Yeah, see, we're role playing here. It's the bigger
hosting for games.
It's the bigger crime. He's partaking in the devil's game.
Yeah. I lived through the satanic panic of the 80s.
Okay, so you're gonna move toward the big top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start making his way in.
When you get to it, you find that it's just a tent, but it's really big, like large.
I'd like to be going with Father as well. Just continue your narrative there, sorry, but I'm just
No problem.
with guns out.
You get to it. It's a very large tent, and it makes up the entire east end of the complex, much like the size of the entire coastal or the coaster ride. As you pull back the tent flap, I assume you do that, you see an empty room. Just a dirt room. It's not very big. There's flaps on either. There's like curtains and stuff, and it sort of makes a box around this, and just dirt on the floor.
Well, this is not promising. Hello? Kind of call out, walking into this squared, tented off room. Anybody in here?
Can I pound an energy drink?
Yeah, you can totally pound an energy drink. I will allow it. So therefore, your initiative goes up by 5, yeah? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and rename you to Rufus 1383. Okay.
I'm gonna move stealthily, like make sure that everyone can see me, but just be very quiet, like tiptoe.
So you're doing the exact opposite of Pastor Adam, who just shouted that he was standing in the doorway.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of drawing attention.
Aaron,
So everyone,
already.
it was as he's drawn attention to himself. I like to step into the shadow.
Right. So you're going to be like, yeah, cool, be a distraction. I'm going to go over here. Yeah, it's fine.
I also clink when I walk because that chain belt that's kind of wrapped around his waist. He kind of makes noise.
So you willingly are adding to the EAG. That's what I'm understanding. The enemy attraction gauge, by the way, guys. It's a random counter of information that I keep track of to determine when you get randomly attacked. Basically, when you're making noise, working on stuff, it adds to that number. If you're in a safe location, it doesn't matter. Like the barricade you threw up, it's cool. If you guys get randomly attacked, it'll be outside, and then you'll be fine. But now that you are outside, this guy chlinking along is going to be causing problems for you. Which is why you're stealthily moving around, so that way they can't find you.
Yes.
That's how that works.
I haven't got stealth as a skill, but for some reason it says I got camo tapping. Stealth is at advantage when I'm not moving. So I don't know how I roll this because I haven't got a skill in stealth. So what do I do?
Oh, I did not realize you didn't have the stealth skill. That seems weird for a hunter not to have the stealth skill, but you don't. You're right. It's still going to be your. So it's because it's your base stat. It would be at disadvantage because you don't have it. but because of the camo when you're not moving, it gives you advantage. So essentially, when I have you roll, or if you want to roll stealth now, you would just roll it at the natural number for your agility, which is, in your case, 90.
Okay. All right. Nice. It's weird.
It is. It is weird. Yeah, but that's what's happening.
All right. Cool. All right. At 90. Whoa. Cool. I got a 87. I got one success. I got under.
That's a success. That's enough. You were in the shadows. You're hiding.
Yes.
Cool.
But of course, I have to stay still but not move.
Right. That's the only way that the camo is working for you is because you're not moving. Right. That's how you're staying hidden.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So, what do the rest of you do? Jack has entered. Pastor Adam has entered.
I would just be right behind the father with the bow ready to see what happens, what comes out of the damn tent.
Okay. Rufus, you gonna follow along too?
Yeah. I assumed that I was like right behind Pastor.
Okay.
What's your name again, Pastor? Adam, right?
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, and you just call him Adam. He responds to all.
So the two of you that are behind the pastor, why don't you both make perception rolls for me real fast?
I got a 30. I got a 34 out of 45.
Okay. Success.
3.
Okay. Rufus. So Aaron, you noticed this too. Behind you as you go through the lab, it just seems like there's suddenly something behind you. But not terrifying, like there's space behind you. Rufus, you notice that when you go through the flap and you're all in there, behind you, like when you pass through the flap, behind you, a room seems to be there now instead of the opening of the rest of the park.
So reality's kind of shifted here, right?
Correct. So if you wanna sort of check it out, I'll have you make a resolve roll before you do that because the universe seems to have shifted.
Okay. Check out the room behind me.
Yeah, if you want to kind of like go, what was that? Like, because now you know there's a room behind you.
Okay, narratively, like I really like that. I mean, I would have it. You know, like if I was drawing the comic book, Maggie, I would have the boop 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 to the back. All right, yes. So resolve. All right, this is my first kind of like we would call this. This is a sanity or something like that in another system.
Yep, this would be
spirit
a sanity
break or whatever. Okay,
correct.
Cool. I like
Correct.
that. 10.
Nice. And your resolve is obviously higher than 10 if I remember correctly.
My resolve is 10. Wow. Okay. No, 40, 20, 10.
Yeah. So you got an amazing success on your resolve. So while the rules of reality seem to have bent around you, there's now a room behind you. There is a room behind you, and you're not. It doesn't throw you off. Like it throws you off, but you're not like, what the hell? Like there just seems to be a room behind you now. And you're like, okay, that is not how I remember that.
Right.
And then there's a room on the other side of that flat.
This you guys don't really know as players, but players you do. But I mean, I kind of just turned to go back into this, so I haven't even really said anything, which is probably not the smartest metagaming, but narratively, I'm possessed by this. So I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but you've lost your gunslinger, unless you're behind.
Right, Aaron is right next to you, so Aaron would be the one who notices.
Right, Aaron, you might notice this. Pastor Adams, you got no cover. No, you as a person know that. As a PC, you don't know that.
So when you cross into that room, it's the same kind of room that you were just in. There's a dirt floor, just kind of squared, boxy thing with curtains. looking over your shoulder, Aaron is still on the other side of that flap.
Pastor's oblivious. He's just, Maggie, anybody, can you hear me? He's loudly calling out, just looking at the flowing, I guess, curtain walls or tent walls spread out around him.
So I'll let you guys chew on that when I go back to Maggie. Maggie.
Hey.
So no one seems to be waking up, and no matter what you do, they don't wake up at all.
I'm panicking.
You felt that exhaustion. Yeah, things are just weird all of a sudden.
I've been like pacing. I've checked the stove several times to see if we left the gas on. I'm totally freaking out.
I mean, the pastor did break something. For all you know, there's just a slow gas leak in this place.
Right. I have no idea what's going on. I keep, every now and then, every 15, 20 minutes, I give another one of them a shake.
Yeah, nothing seems to be working. But you do feel that sort of press toward the back of the place again, the back of the park.
So I'm just gonna push open undo the thing on the barricade, push out, grab my bow and arrow, and step outside.
As you do, roll for me suddenly a dodge roll, if you could.
That's a fail.
Okay. You get hit from a sign that falls from the door, the entrance to the place. You are knocked unconscious.
Okay.
But when you, after a moment, you feel fine. You brush yourself off. You're standing in the middle of the amusement park, right next to the entrance to the gift shop. Everything is different now, however. Instead of being an adventurous-style world, everything seems related to clowns and bizarre things like that. There's darkness around you, like the sky seems to have blackened out.
So there's no lights on, it's just completely
and the
dark?
lights are on. Yeah, sorry, the lights in the park are on.
Okay.
And you hear this music playing from the speaker. It's sort of an organ music.
Am I near the gift shop, or am I kind of...
You are near the gift shop.
Okay, so I think I would run over to the gift shop, take a look in, holler, Adam, Rufus, Jack, where are you? Wake up, get out of here, get out here.
So when you shout all that, you realize that they're not in the gift shop. They're not there.
Okay. Do I still have all my stuff with me?
You do.
Okay. So I think I would just kind of run back out. I think I'm again a little bit feeling alone, feeling a little bit panicked. It's been a while since I've been on my own, and I'm not comfortable with it.
The east end of the park is got a giant tent in it now, where there used to be a roller coaster and a Ferris wheel.
Okay. So I think I would slowly walk. I have my hatchet out. I've got my bow and arrow. Not out obviously, but loosened out of my pack and stuff on my back, and I would head for the tent, and I would be walking fairly slowly, but I would be screaming at the top of my lungs, Pastor Adam. I'd be screaming their names.
Okay. There's seemingly no response as you walk around. You are alone in this park, as far as you can tell. When you get to the tent.
And I'm just. Is there an open door? Is it like a
there's
curtain?
a flap. There's a flap on the tent that can be opened if you just move it aside.
Okay. Well, with as much stealth as possible, I'm gonna just with one hand slide that open and try and kind of peek in.
When you peek in, you see Aaron and Pastor Adam standing there.
I fucking go up to them. What are you guys doing? What the hell? You just left me back there? And I'm in like panic, relief, rage.
Aaron, Maggie comes rushing into the tent next to you.
With my hatchet up.
And Rufus, behind you, suddenly you hear Maggie in the room. Behind you, the one you just came out of.
I come out of the open and sort of go, "Oh, Maggie," and sort of give her a hug.
I give him a little half hug.
What in the Garden of Eden? We thought you was taken.
We were looking for you everywhere.
You guys totally bailed on me. I was back in the gift shop.
I
We
don't.
woke up in the middle of the courtyard. You were gone.
I'm pointing into the new room, and I go, "Guys, is that really her? I think you should come see this." But Is this room? Have I gotten
Yes.
the whole take of the new? There's a new room as opposed to the full
Correct.
courtyard or opening, right? There's just like a boxed-in room.
Yep. And somehow
it-
Maggie was in the room behind you.
But
It-
that's where the pastor is, right? The pastor's
Correct.
behind me.
Correct.
I'm looking what used to be not a field, but the courtyard of the carnival, which has now become a room.
Correct.
Is it a mirrored room of the
It's a mirror of the room that they're standing in.
but empty?
Yeah, the same as it just doesn't have them standing in it.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Guys, I think you should see this.
Okay, I come in. What's up?
Yeah, you just walk through the
Yeah.
entrance. Bloop.
Turning around and seeing that there's another room where outside used to be.
Are you guys seeing the same thing that I'm seeing?
Correct.
Can we
Brothers and
can we
need
see
to
them when
steel
they walk in?
ourselves.
Yeah, so when Jack passes through the threshold, just walks into that next room and you can see the room. Jack, I'm just gonna let you just be like, what's going on? Whereas
Yeah.
the rest of you see just Jack, instead of going out to the courtyard, goes into another room where Rufus seems to be standing. And so the rest of you who are watching will have to roll resolve at this point.
This is certainly the work of evil spirits to taken away the outside and replaced it with another. I can't even begin to describe that.
I got a regular success.
Okay.
What are we rolling?
You're rolling resolve. It's a special stat.
I
Brian?
failed really bad. I got an 84.
Ooh.
Do I need to roll another one, or have I
No,
already
you're
had
fine.
my reality shattered?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. It was just the ones that are now seeing that there's a room
Yeah,
instead
right.
of the outside.
What the hell?
What? So
They're
they're
right.
encountering the
It's
same
wrong.
threshold of bended reality that you already passed through.
I rolled a
anything you can do.
59 out of 67. I'm good.
Okay. So,
Resolve is one of like my higher sub scores.
So
Yeah.
Aaron, yeah, that is not supposed to be what was there. Even though you were kind of aware that there was suddenly a room before, now you're like, whoa, hold on. There's like it's like a whole room. It's not just kind of like there's something behind me, but like a room. You are unnerved. So when the next sort of set of actions, you have disadvantage. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, disadvantage on your rolls for a bit of time.
He would definitely, unready his phone, and he would just, touch his forehead. He'd be like, what the hell did you guys put in that soup?
So I see. Do I see what? So what do I see when I go
When you
with
go
my
into,
friend?
when you go into the room, it's the same kind of room that you just came out of. It's just a dirt floor, a box in shape, and it has curtains on all sides. They all seem to have like opening flaps. But you have to push them aside to go through. But it's just the room, just like the one you came out of, dirt floors, and the like.
So I say, "What's up?"
I think Adam is going to walk back into that newly formed room that should be outside, and kind of stroll right across to that opposite wall,
Mhm.
and says, "Surely this must be some sort of trick." And he's going to use his staff to pull the curtains
Mm.
aside, expecting that this must be outside again.
When you do, you
Not
s-
cautious or anything, just throwing it wide open,
throwing
like
it wide
looking
open.
through.
so everyone.
And did you say that there's a mirror somewhere? Just out of
No,
curiosity.
no. The room was a mirror version of the room.
Gotcha,
that-
gotcha,
that
gotcha,
room was in.
okay.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah,
it was
sorry.
just a copy. It was a mimic room, same
Gotcha.
same kind of style. As you do that, you throw the flap open. You see a room that's very large in size, with a large, colorful wooden ring that surrounds a dirt area. There appear to be people sort of moving around inside the ring, conducting bizarre acts of physical feats like contorting, jumping around, and weightlifting large pieces of iron, and juggling, things like that.
I'm gonna let the curtain kind of float itself kind of shut and just kind of stand there for a moment and look back halfway at everybody. I think there may be some slight issue here. and just kind of like waiting for the other people.
Yeah, I just sort of like
Kind
go
of
to my
taken
friend and
aback a
says-
little bit.
Yeah, I go to my friend and said, "What's the yelling about? What do you want us to look at? What is it that you wanted to see us to see?" I
Right,
said
and,
to my
and, I, and I think I would look at Jack and I'd say, "Hey, Jack, have you ever been to the circus? Because that's the circus right there."
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah, well, maybe you just, go up and ask those fellows what they're doing. We'll all just stay here and cover your back.
I would not send a child into the den of the lion by himself.
I'm just saying, I bet they like kids. He could pretend to be, a kid. Run up, be all excited like he does anyway. And we'll all be right here. We just want to see send out a little test party.
Well, I just want to know what he was yelling about. He called us in here, and what was the problem?
This in here should not be an in here. This should be an out there. But this outside has become an inside, and that boggles my mind. There is demon work at play. There is some dark forces here. We must steel ourselves with the Lord.
Okay. Jack just scratches his head and goes, "Okay," and sort of goes and does like a little scratch of the head and does little circle motions and go, "Okay," around his head. All right. Jack goes towards the area where the people are performing.
Okay. So you cross through the threshold into the other room, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Slowly at first.
Yeah. Nothing stops you, but as you go in, you can get a good view of these people. They're wearing makeup. Their faces are powdered. Let me get a full description for you. Where did I put the descriptions?
I'll just step through the flap with him so that he's not 100% alone. I'm not going to exactly get closer, but I'm at least going to watch.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to step inside the flap, step to the side, and pull out and knock an arrow in my bow.
Okay, so 3 of you are going through the flap.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fully aimed. How crunchy is combat? Do I need to declare that I've gotten down on one knee and stabilizing myself? Is there half cover, third cover, all that stuff?
There isn't sort of half cover, third cover. There's just cover or not cover.
Okay, cool.
When you have cover, then it takes damage when you get hit, or when you not get hit, it just takes damage. But otherwise, you do need to declare things like you're going to get down on one knee to stabilize yourself. If you're expecting to get advantage out of it. If you're not expecting anything out of it, then it doesn't matter.
And can I just say that I'm taking aim at...
Correct. So taking aim and putting yourself in an advantageous position are essentially the same thing. You get a bonus. Yeah.
I assume both me and Maggie.
Okay.
I'm sorry I'm calling you all by your RP names. I'm horrible. I'll remember your face for a million years. I'm one of those people, but so...
That's great.
That's fine. Maggie's my character name.
Yeah. I know, but
It's a little bit of role play going on.
I'm alright with that.
So Jack sort of waves and calls out to the painted people. Goes, "Hey, what's up?"
Okay, so the people that
the
people that you see are covered in stark white makeup with oversized red lips and blue eyes with red diamonds painted over them. They wear bushy red wigs. And they're in this case they're wearing blue and yellow striped clothing, which is quite oversized, and shoes that are foolishly oversized, like ridiculously oversized.
Okay, but I do wave and see if they yell, see if I get their attention.
You do get their attention, and as you look on them and they look upon you, you will have to make a. Well, okay. So what they're going to do is when they look upon you, they're going to laugh, and they're going to go, and now you have to make a resolve roll
What for?
because you have to. It's their special ability. They're causing you to be scared.
I've got a question. Are
I'm not scared of
clowns
clowns.
terrifying without all the cultural
I'm a kid.
baggage? Is it the cultural baggage that makes them terrifying?
The
or are they...
look that they give when they make the laugh is bizarre and abnormal. And
They're
causes...
supernatural, freaking crazy ass clowns.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. It's
I was
their
asking more of a-
supernatural special ability. That it's called a fear attack. That's what he's being hit with.
Doesn't sound scary to me. All right, because I'm just a kid, and I like you're not scary. I mean,
The laugh rattles around in your psyche.
Yeah, there's something unnaturally piercing about the laugh.
okay. I'm just saying, I'm a teenager. Like,
Oh,
What is
it attacks 2 targets. So, someone else. Who has the lowest luck of the group outside of Jack?
Oh, I have terrible luck.
I have terrible luck. I have 2.
No,
you
not
win.
luck. Not luck use.
Okay.
That's your number. Your total number, like 25.
all right, and I got a 23 out of 40.
I think
Fine.
mine's still pretty bad, but
Mine's 30. I mean,
That's fine.
My luck's a 50.
25.
Okay,
You're
so Rufus is the one with the less luck. Rufus, unfortunately, you're not quite lucky enough, my friend. You also have to make a resolve roll when this laugh rattles you to your bones. Jack, you're fine. Like, that's a weird laugh. That was strange, but you're okay.
Yeah, it's like that was strange and unusual. I can laugh too. Ha 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 ha. I sort of laugh back.
I've been rolling really good. It's not gonna. I got 13.
Okay. I mean, that's probably really good.
Yeah, no, but I know that the moment I pull out my guns, it's gonna be like
Oh,
97.
that's what you're worried about. You're worried about, like, okay, this is not going to work out for me in the long run. All right, so yeah, you're fine. Again, weird, but not bone shattering. It's weird that you just, like, it shook you for a moment, but, like, you just kind of went, it's just a laugh, man. It's cool.
It's weird that I haven't put a bullet through one of these guys
It is
already.
weird.
That's
It's
what's
actually
weird.
more weird. That's what's happening. Okay, so they laugh.
so everyone's walked through besides, except for Aaron, right?
Aaron is
I was right behind. I was the last person going. And
okay. I guess you
So
were.
Alright,
I
so-
say,
Well, I thought
So I
Rufus
say-
was actually sort of outside of it, correct? Rufus, you were going to stand and take aim, sort of deal, or did you go in too?
I went through the very first, right?
Oh, okay.
Remember I turned
No,
back
no.
around and I went through way back when. And
Right.
so,
This
but
is
I
a whole
just
new room. This is the third.
This is the third room.
flipped again. Like if we flip back a third time.
No, I went through to that room.
Oh,
you're
at the
in
far
and
end, at
through
the
that
far
next
end
one.
of that one. No,
Correct.
I have not yet
Right.
caught up to that
Right.
one. Okay, sorry.
So as that flap closes, you lose sight of the others.
Can I try and catch up and go through
Yeah.
as quick as we could do that narratively to not make it silly? But sorry, I thought I was looking in
You were.
to the right, but I didn't realize that we
Oh.
flipped again. So however you want to
Got it.
make
That's
that
fine.
work narratively, I thought I was staring into the clowns as well as Jack walked forward. So I don't know, however you want to do that, but
No.
without-
So what I was under the presumption was that, like, so Pastor Adam had opened the door. Everyone saw the things on the other side. Then Jack was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll go after him." And then Jack went through, and most of the other people followed. That's what it seemed like. And then you were still standing in the main room, that second room, looking in.
I'd like to catch up and like
Okay.
open the curtain with my gun and then back to however making that story work.
Cool.
And
Yeah, so then
Aaron's,
you just
Aaron's
follow
kind
them.
of following in the tail there.
So that's fine. That's fine. So now you're all in the room with the big, large ring. So when the clowns laugh, and some of you have to make some resilient or some resolve to shake that off. They are all now paying attention to you. There are, I think I said 6 of them, right? Like, well, I didn't
no.
actually clarify. There are 5 of them. 5 of them according to that roll right there. So there are 5 of them. So you guys know that I wasn't making that number up. Yes, there are 5 of them in the room doing these various acts. They stop doing those acts, and they look at you with sort of weird murderous intent.
oh no.
You see that there's, much like the other room, there's curtains on either end of the room. It's just quite large in comparison to the room you just came out of. But there are curtains on all sides of it, much like it's a square box. And then there's just darkness above where ceiling should be, but it just disappears into the tent, essentially.
I think at this point I would just say, Jack, stop walking, step backwards, come back. Don't walk any closer to him.
All right, now I come back and join my friends.
And I think I would turn Aaron. Is that door still open?
Is it open if I look back? Is the door open when I look back?
Did you?
The one we came in.
Yeah. If nobody intentionally held it open, it is not. It's closed behind you, but it's still there. There's the distinction in the curtain is there. You can flap it back open.
Gotcha. Yeah, he was there. I guess that it's still open.
I fear dark things are deceiving us, because this should be outside, but it is not outside. I believe the way out is lost somewhere in all of this curtain and subterfuge.
What do you propose, Pastor?
For a change, I have no idea. I'm like Moses lost in the desert at the moment.
Okay, the clowns start walking towards you. Slowly.
I do know that is not right, he says, kind of pointing at the clowns.
Can I take a bow? My bow. Since I got my bow out, can I take the aim action?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. We'll let everyone choose an action that they want to take.
Well, I'm still aiming.
Okay.
And just when we get ready to go, I think I would just look at the pastor and say, maybe they're not real. Maybe they're not real. And then I would get ready to just fire a bow at whoever's coming closest, or fire an arrow at whoever's coming closest.
Everyone moved around.
All right.
Did you just change something? Because
I didn't change anything. That's why I was like, everyone just suddenly shifted around. Like, your camera went away, and
my audio just went all crazy for a second.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And your video went away, Rufus.
Yeah, your video's gone.
Mine?
Yeah.
And Jack's video's gone.
Weird.
The name's real.
Do you have my video back?
No, we've got something, and it's got green edges. It's the gremlins affecting our system
I was about to say, it's the frickin' clowns.
Clowns.
This is the clowns.
It's not a mistake. These are the two guys that got laughed at.
All right. So,
the clowns are messing everything up.
do you want me to jump out and jump back in?
If you feel like that's what will solve it, then that's fine with me. You should be able to come right back in.
I just had a big list of like my audio's flipped all the way around to all the different things, and it just did something weird. So I wouldn't mind. Okay, so let me just a second here. It's the Zoom invite is in our Facebook, right?
Yep, it's in the chat, the Facebook chat.
Okay, I'm gonna just clock out of this real quick.
Okay, so we'll go to and then go Jack. So, you wanted to keep aiming, Maggie, as they come toward you. So that the action you want
just
to take?
whoever the whoever is in the lead.
Got it.
The pastor is going to step forward and just be loud. Demons, I bid you away from this land.
Can you see me?
You are not welcome here.
Sorry, we're solving the Rufus problem right now. We don't see you. The video is still gone. Not sure what's happening there.
Scott, let me ask you a question about distance. I mean, like, how far away are they from us?
They are mid-range from you. It'll take them a couple of movement rounds. So take a couple of movement actions for them to get to you, essentially. But they're what's mid-range, so something like 60 feet.
Right. So it's just, and is there a range on the bow, or how does that work?
So the bow's range, everything has a range. There's 4 ranges: close, short, mid-range, and long.
Right.
In the case of the bow, at mid-range, they get no advantage or disadvantage. That's their middle distance.
And short range, we get advantage. I see.
Yep. Oh, wait. The camera is showing something, apparently. It's Seems to be the wrong camera, Rufus. So we're going to go ahead and take a little break, as suggested by Joseph over here, so we can try to figure out Rufus's camera.
Yeah, let me reboot, because like I don't know what happened to that was my other camera. This is
Right.
not my good one. So
Right. Yeah, it seems like it selected a different camera.
All right, I'll step back in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess I'll mute and turn off my video, eh?
okay, I think I'm good here. Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Looks like you're back. I don't know what happened.
Reboot. I just pulled out my webcam out of the USB port, and
Oh. I don't know.
I think it was something inside of Zoom, because I was not unhappy at other places. So, but sorry for that.
No, it's all good. It happens. Technical difficulties happen.
And we need a break, right? Everybody's up, right? So
Everyone's currently breaking. Yeah.
cool, lovely.
I'm back.
Jack London's back. Jack, what was your action going to be there?
To take it, or aim and shoot.
Okay, so you're gonna aim and shoot. That's fine. I'll accept it. Okay. And what was Rufus' action going to be?
Shoot, shoot, shoot. And then I was going to shoot after I shot.
He's just going to shoot some more, shoot again.
I've been waiting for this.
And after all the shooting's done, you're going to shoot some more.
Yeah. So I was hoping that me and Maggie had gotten to a place where we had taken aim, but we had that mix up of I don't know if you'll allow me to, but
yeah.
I was hoping that I was still aiming.
So the trick, so when it comes to combat, right? I said you get two actions, essentially two complex actions. So if you wanted to do like an aim and shoot, you would sort of not use your multi-attack, essentially, as it were.
Yeah.
Because the multi-attack essentially allows you to attack a second time. When everyone attacks, that you just get to attack once, and then you have to do something else with that other complex action, unless you've got the multi-attack ability. And in your case, dual wielding automatically grants you that.
Now, where am I seeing that?
So you don't have the multi-attack special ability or anything like that. It's just the rules for dual wielding. So like Maggie could be dual axe wielding. It's totally fine. So what happens when you're dual wielding, the second shot has disadvantage, right? So that's how the penalty for dual wielding. You get to attack a second time, but you're rolling at disadvantage. Right? And that's how that works.
Narratively, with two guns, I have to do it regardless.
Right. So you would so the only downside is you wouldn't be able to aim. You would just be dual wielding. Right. That's what you're thinking. But you should have been aiming beforehand because that's what you told me you were doing. So I'll give it to you. Yeah.
So I would like to do the aim and my first shot, and then if we get into a second round of combat, I will do the crazy man
dual wielding.
Yes,
that makes sense to me.
Be haunted by the terrors of my past while doing so.
Sure.
I'm curious about the ammo usage, because I think if you're like playing a campaign here, managing ammo, particularly with guns, would be really, really important.
Yeah,
it is. Oh, it is.
So
he does have the ability to track his ammo in his gun, right? And then after he's out, then he's out. He can't attack anymore. Essentially, unless he does some other type of attack, like hitting things.
I'm having a hard time seeing what it says here. It says handgun ammo, H in parentheses, 9 extra rounds. Does that mean I have... What does the 357?
So the 357 is...
6.
Yeah, use a 6. So essentially you have 9 extra rounds, meaning that you can reload an entire gun and have 3 left over.
Now, for my archetype, I have hollow points.
Correct.
Does that mean all of my ammo are hollow points?
Yeah, it's the name of the special ability, not the actual bullets themselves. So for you, they're treated, all bullets that you shoot are treated as hollow points, if they're from your 357.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit on the side of like the pulpiness of this game. It relates your special ability just makes all of your bullets that you shoot from 357s magically better. Just how the special abilities work.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it like if you're reading a comic book, this character, you would expect his shots to look like hollow points, right? Yeah, I mean, there's totally ways to make it work without having to be too hand wavy about it. You know?
Yeah. And all the special abilities come from cards in the board game, based on what your character can do. So in the board game, you would essentially attach this hollow points as a thing to your character, and then all of your bullets would just be doing the extra damage.
Yeah, like the gunslinger modified his own ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
Some such.
Or some such, right?
Yeah.
And that's the idea in the board game. So I just translated all of the board game cards that you would attach to your characters as special abilities that your character can have as a character in the RPG.
I'm sorry, I know you covered this, but the whole great success, amazing success on a shot indicates that you go up one.
No,
how does that work?
No, the successes don't matter when it comes to attacks. The only way that they matter is the person's defense, because an attack is an opposed action.
Gotcha.
So you're going to roll, the defender's going to roll, and your degrees of success, if they're better than the attackers or the defenders, then you hit, right?
Okay.
If the defender is better than you, then you missed, and all ties go to the attacker.
Oh, right, because we do the attack roll and then we do the damage roll.
Correct.
And no doubt because these are supernatural thingy bobs, they're probably pretty tough.
There's only 5 of them.
I guess we'll find out.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last, Aaron, what was your action going to be? I was giving everyone 1 action.
He's now no longer unnerved, right?
No, this is still the unnerved point. This is where it comes into play.
It's been ages.
He would take aim too, like whenever they get close enough to the father, he's just gonna let one go.
Okay, you're gonna take aim and let an arrow go. Correct? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good because you have disadvantage, so you're gonna negate that by aiming. So smart idea. That's how that works. Bam, bam. Okay. So aim and shoot. So everyone's doing like oh fuck these guys. We're just gonna go ahead and shoot. I totally just. Well, good thing I put age restrictions on this already. Yay, in case that's for. You're just gonna be like, screw those guys, blah, right? And that's what's happening. So why doesn't everyone roll for me your attack for everyone that's attacking? The pastor's shouting and Maggie's aiming. Are you shooting as well, Amy? Maggie? Did you decide you were gonna aim and shoot or just keep aiming?
Oh no, I'm shooting.
Okay, all right. So it's aiming.
Because I'm not 100% sure they're real. I'm hoping my damn arrow goes right through them.
Got it. It's a bunch of arrows, some bullets, and the pastor being like, "Back, you foul beasts! Demons from hell!" Right.
Yep, that's the pastor.
I just got 1 success.
Okay. So it's a success. I'll write this down so I can do the dodging. Success 1.
Do I have to make a shot because I was aiming and shooting?
Correct. Yeah. So go ahead and roll.
So what do I do to roll?
So you're gonna roll the 2d10s like your normal thing, and you're gonna compare that with your archery skill on your character sheet.
And I
Where's
failed.
archery?
It's on the it's in the middle on the top part of the first page. So it's the first combat skill, right under the age 14 thing.
Right.
So this is probably a good time to talk about luck. So I failed.
Okay.
Can I just use a luck to
Yeah.
re-roll?
So you'd use one of your luck uses per game and just re-roll it.
Right, but do I re-roll it as though I'm aiming, or I just roll without advantage?
I've never just re-roll it as if you were aiming because it's just a re-roll of that failed.
Okay.
A natural 10.
Ooh.
That was better.
So
right.
a 10 with your 90 is pretty damn good. That's 3 degrees of success. That's an amazing success. Good job.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I got an amazing success as well.
Okay, cool. And what about Rufus?
So I should have rolled 3 dice, correct?
Correct.
A regular percentile combo, and then a third dice.
To represent the tens, the tens die
Okay.
on your thing.
So that is not a double. It's not double dice. It's a 0, right? And so with that, I could replace. The only time you'd ever want to replace a ones die is if you had those weird games where you're trying to, like Warhammer, where you're trying to make a hit. Okay, so it's generally in this system, it'll always be your tens, right?
Correct. That's
So
what you're replacing.
that means my 0 replaces my 80, which gives me a roll of 6.
Correct. Yeah. So that's gonna be probably 3 degrees of success as well.
Yes. Let's see. I think, and then I compare that to my.
This would be your firearms skill.
Okay, and then do I need to tell you about the hollow point DC? No, that's the damage.
That's the damage code. Yeah.
That's
We'll deal
later.
with that in a
Okay,
second.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll first see if you hit because they get to dodge.
Right.
But with 3 degrees of success, like 3 of you got, it's going to be hard because they're going to have to get critical successes on their dodging to not get hit. So moral of the story is 3 of you are probably going to. I say probably because there is a very narrow 1% chance that you didn't hit. But
And are we all aiming at different people, or are we all just
yeah, I assumed you were all shooting at different clowns rather than shooting at the
Okay.
same clown. There were 5 clowns and 4 of you shooting, so I assume that you'd all just taken a clown.
I'm aiming at the creepy one.
I'm aiming at the one in the front.
Right. Yeah, you said the one in the front, and then no one else specified, so I just assumed everyone was just shooting at whichever one was closest to them.
And I'm striking the comic book panel pose, arms up.
Nice.
as these shots come flying out behind him.
It's also turned
yeah.
into Gandalf.
Okay, so not only did they not dodge, most of them dodged extremely badly with like 80s and 90s on their dodge. One person got a decent enough to have done some dodging, but not enough. And that would have been the one that Jack was shooting at. So, great. So everyone hit. So what you'll now roll is your damage for your attack. In most cases, I think for Aaron, Maggie, and Jack, it's all probably the same. It's probably just going to be like a
2d4.
2d4,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so mine is 5.
Okay.
And a 6.
So 5, 6,
Mine is also a 5.
5. Okay, and now we're going to go to the guy who probably slung a lot more than that, Rufus.
Okay.
So you had the damage code plus 1, is that correct? Or was it plus,
Sorry, for what?
sorry, let me pull up your character sheet real fast just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're rolling at E. Yeah, you're doing extreme damage. So
I'm doing extreme damage
right.
plus
So
2,
1d8.
right? To ferocious?
No. So I'm sorry. The that's already calculated in. So the extreme damage is with the hollow points. I already added it on the character sheet. The
Okay.
357 does average damage.
Okay.
Or heavy damage normally, and then you.
And then the ballistic skill of amazing, or the amazing success, only made it more difficult for them to dodge.
Correct.
Okay, so that would mean I take E. I have a 1d8 plus 7, correct?
Correct.
And you're ready for that now, correct?
I am.
5 plus 7, 12.
12. Cool. So I mean, not amazeballs in comparison, but I think you did double Aaron's damage, and Aaron was the highest out of the 3. So good job there, Rufus. That's how the gunslinger does their damage. All right, so you guys all damaged a clown. I'm gonna look at how much life they have and armor they have. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay, so the clowns get hurt. Where's the one that you shot at? Okay, Rufus, the one you hit, just dies. So why don't you? Do you want to describe to me how they die, or do you want me to try to come up with a cool, crazy way that they die?
Who? Me?
Rufus?
Or
No, Rufus.
Rufus?
He's typing. I don't know if he can hear me or not.
I do?
Okay, so it's your clown that dies. Do you want to describe it, or do you want me to describe it?
Oh, sorry. So is there any hit location mechanic in this game, or is it fully narrative?
Unless you do a called shot. So
Okay.
This dies, so however you wanted to have it hit.
And you did your PG rating, right? Okay.
Mhm.
This clown is giggling as he is surging forward, and right from the middle of his little red nose, his face opens up, and he splatters back falls back to and he topples backwards. I don't imagine that it freaks out the other clowns that much, because I don't think that they're very empathetic people. If they're even people.
Right, if they're even people. All right, so the clown dies, or seems to die, as you can tell.
Oh! And as he hits the ground, the plastic flower on his lapel does a little half super lame spurt of water, and then that's it.
Interestingly, it's actually not water; it's acid, and it starts eating through the jacket of the clown.
Okay.
Nice.
Steaming.
It's just gross. In a good way.
Gross in a good way. Okay, so what do you guys want to do now? The clowns have taken some damage. They're advancing on you. We can jump to initiative and have combat continue, or you guys can try something else.
Okay.
Um, I would just say, you guys, let's just get the hell out of here, and go back to that door and try and get back out the way we came.
It's like a good plan.
Yeah, if we're turning tail, I'm turning tail with you guys.
Yeah, I'm
Or
turning tail.
Adam is turning tail.
Real quick, Pastor Adam, you're shouting. You don't have you don't have like war cry or anything like that, right? It's not. You don't have a special ability that makes them have to make any kind of resolve.
No, I wasn't doing anything special.
Got it.
Just being boisterous and loud.
Yeah, maybe an intimidation roll, but that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't trying for it.
Right. Exactly. Okay, I follow. All right. So the suggestion is to run away. Sorry if my dog scared anybody just now barking. Okay. Is everyone going to run away, or?
Yes.
Yes. Got a yes. Yes.
That was my idea. So
Cool. So you guys go back through the door, or the flap rather. Go back through the flap into the other room that you came from. Only when you do, you reveal a room that is, that has a altar in the middle. It seems to be empty, but as you pass through, you see white-faced people coming through on the other side. They're wearing striped clothing that's stripes of black and white, and they seem to be mimicking you as they come in.
how many of them are there?
How many of you are there?
5. Damn it.
There's 5 of them.
Don't do anything to them, I say.
Are they armed?
They don't appear to be.
What manner of devilry is this?
Pastor, is that any kind of altar you've ever seen before?
Nothing I'm familiar with.
Do you want to approach and investigate?
Actually, yeah, I'll move a little bit closer.
As you do, one of the white-faced, white-clothing people moves closer to the altar as well.
Okay, well, I'm going to do the classic waving to see if it waves back at me.
One
If
of
one of them
the
moves
one
back.
of the white-faced, white-clothed people on the other side of the room waves back at you.
Okay, now I'm going to do the really stupid flipping the bird at them.
Okay. Same thing happens from the one on the other side.
Okay, I will say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious really fast. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and see if you can repeat what I say.
You can just do it slowly, too.
The white-clothed, white-faced person on the other side's mouth moves really fast, but nothing comes out. No words.
It's mine.
There is something not right going on here. This is not the room we left before.
And at that realization, make a resolve roll.
Oh man.
Everyone who notices or who is paying attention.
Oh yeah, 49 out of 67. I'm solid. Just standard success.
Aaron,
A
you're
regular success.
okay.
The Lord gives me courage.
See if I
I got a 94.
75.
I was
totally.
gonna say your unnerved
Total
goes away,
failure.
but it comes back. So you're still unnerved. Rufus, you failed as
hang
well.
on.
Yes, I did.
You are also
I
unnerved.
also I break.
Okay.
I get unnerved.
So now that you three are really experiencing this place, you're unnerved by the situation. You just seems to be odd and awkward and strange, and you're not understanding how you managed to go through a door you just came out of, and it's a different room on the other side.
We must not let this affect us. I need you all to stay strong with me.
I think I want to try something. Like Aaron is gonna back up to the wall and just keep walking along the wall, like touching it with the back of his hand, see if he reaches to another door, see where it leads.
So you want to not go through the door you just passed through, but move like around the room to another side.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do so, a white-faced, white striped clothing person moves opposite around the room, facing you, up against the wall.
And I think I would turn around and be like, Aaron, get a grip and just stop moving. Just stop.
He would stop, but he would stay against the wall though.
So how far did you want to say? Do you want to make it like a quarter of the way around the room to like basically where the other side would be? Like not like directly like a 90 degree from where you were, or do you want to like be on that same wall as the rest of them?
No, it does what you said before, the first one.
The 90 degree, yeah. So you're gonna be over, basically like their east, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Got it. There is a door behind you, or it seems that the flap can be moved behind you in the curtain.
All right, so we don't know anything about the altar.
I mean, not unless the pastor continued approaching when the mime also. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and look at it.
When you go to the altar, the mime thing seems to also approach, and every movement you do to check out the altar, it mimics. Like you lean over it, it leans over, and you almost bump heads, that sort of thing.
Oh boy, that's not cool.
But you can do an academics roll with, I assume you have theology.
Yeah,
Nice.
theology.
Yep.
All right.
So you have advantage on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't even need to roll the advantage. I rolled a 4. That's out of 15 for extreme.
Okay.
This is so not gonna roll this well when combat happens.
It's a bizarre series of symbols that don't make any sense, and as you look at them, they seem to just be weird and hard to read. Like they kind of look like symbols you've seen before, but then when you look at them more, they just sort of seem to change and not be symbols that you recognize. But then they change back. It's like as if images from your mind are telling you what those are, but then it's like, no, that can't be what it is, so it's got to be something else. And so your mind is sort of tricking you into thinking that they are symbols and not symbols at the same time.
Okay. These don't make any sense. It's like the rapture is still continuing. The demons are walking the earth again.
No, it is Yakovriff. He has come back to eat our dreams.
It's all
What?
of them and none of them.
Does
This
anybody
is-
have any idea what Jack just said?
I think I may have an inkling. He's speaking of demons. It's got to be.
Speaking in tongues.
Okay, Jack. All right, you're fine. We're fine. Is it like, okay, they're mirroring us. Is that, are the images mirror images? Can we look at them backwards or something and see if you recognize them that way?
I think they do the same. They keep changing. They look like one thing and then they look like another. I'm not making much sense of this. I've never seen writing that ceases to be writing but also is at the same. I can't even describe how the devil has bewitched my mind. and I'm going to start backing away from it.
Okay.
Shoot, because I was about to ask you to touch your guy and see what he felt like.
Ooh.
Just, well, I mean, he's not attacking us, right? I mean, they don't appear to be threatening us.
They are not threatening.
It's a good point. I'm going to go meta and reach out.
Okay, you reach out. As you reach out, he reaches out, and you touch hands. Well, yeah. I guess it would be shoulders, because it would reach with the same hand that you're reaching with, so you sort of touch shoulders. Nothing seems to happen, just a physical contact. You feel the hand touching your shoulder, and as you squeeze, it squeezes.
I'm
I
pulling away from that.
got up to my one
Uh-huh.
and like pull out a handkerchief.
Okay. It pulls out a
Alright.
mock handkerchief, not an actual one, but like it's holding one.
And it's got a white face, yeah?
Yeah.
I lick the handkerchief, like dab it with my tongue, like
Okay.
get as wet as I can, and I rub his face.
Ooh.
Okay. As you rub his face, you feel him rubbing your face, and it almost feels like there's a handkerchief on your face. The wet sort of feeling rubbing your face.
Okay. Does the paint remove
No.
Interesting.
It appears not to be paint.
And I would just say, Jack, this is not time for mime wars. Step back.
Okay. I'll step back.
There's this weird sort of wet feeling on your face.
Okay. Yeah.
What will happen if one of us pull out a weapon? I'm not saying shoot it, but pull one out.
Nobody shoot.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out a scalpel.
Okay. The one directly across from you that's mimicking your movement pulls out a hand and looks like they're holding a scalpel in the same way.
And I'm gonna go up to. I'm gonna stand, kind of maybe like 4 feet in front of her, so it doesn't look like I'm about to attack her. And I take the scalpel in one hand and I hold out my own hand, and I just very gently just sort of prick myself in my own palm.
Okay, make a resolve roll for me.
It was 60, so, and my resolve is 60.
Cool, that's exactly what you need. You don't really feel anything as you gently prick yourself, but the person across from you, blood comes out of her arm slightly where the fake knife blade would have gone in.
Does any blood come out of me?
Nope.
So damage we do to ourselves hurts them?
Correct.
This is unholy.
Holy crap. Okay, all of my really bad ideas are flooding through my head for a minute.
Seriously. I'm really tempted to but I'm not willing to experiment.
Why don't we burn that altar so that gets rid of them?
I had a question about fire here, actually, because I have a bunch of cigars, but I apparently don't have a way to light it. I should have a Zippo.
I have a lighter.
But my character should have a Zippo. He's a cowboy. Shouldn't he have a...
But not necessarily.
We lose a lot of stuff along the way, right?
Yeah.
Joseph played the gunslinger at one point in time, and he just chewed on the cigars because he realized he didn't have a way to light them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pastor, what do you think about this idea? We light the altar on fire. You think that'd work?
I'm willing to try anything. This is an infernal place. I only hope to God that fire will do something to these horrible things.
Okay,
this altar is not natural.
So I'm gonna look at you guys, and I'm gonna pull out the bottle of alcohol, and I'm gonna say, unless anybody's got a better idea, and I'm gonna look at Rufus and say, "You want a light for that cigar?"
I surely do. Thank you kindly, ma'am.
The white-faced.
Yeah, but I sound like the pastor now, so no.
I'm sorry. Say again.
Make it more Clint Eastwood.
The white-faced, striped person across from you pulls out what appears to be out of their pocket or out of their fake bag, holding what appears to be a fake bottle, as if in air, not actually holding a bottle.
Right, mime. It's freaking mime. All right.
You, yeah.
So I'm kind of staring at her, and I'm gonna take. I hand my lighter off to Rufus.
Okay.
And I'm assuming she does the same thing.
Correct. And the Rufus one will take it.
And I'm just gonna walk over to the altar. I'm gonna be kind of daring her, okay, you're gonna stop me. You're gonna stop me. And I'm gonna pour about half the alcohol from the bottle, just on the altar, and then I'm gonna step back.
She appears to also pour on the altar and then steps back.
I'm backing away. I'm actually going to turn around and watch the